Welcome, everybody. It's been a million years. And I'm recording on my phone, so it's going to sound strange. I can assure you that. Hopefully, I don't get a call in the meantime. GSC Invitational number 3, main event of the evening. In the blue corner, we have Power of Tibarn, aka Tibarn, or Tibarn was taken. Pretty strong player, and I should know because I've faced him a lot. At least 2 or 3 times in tour. Then we got real fv13, a player that has made a name for themselves in the GSC circuits, both for underused, where he is one of the better performers there, but also in overused. Last year, doing very well in what I believe was just a series of different tournaments, and so he qualified for the Circuit Championship of 2023. So it's not a foregone conclusion that, for instance, Tibarn would win or something here. We're going to start the game. Remember that you can donate and join the Discord for predictions. We got Curse Titar versus Toxic Lax, of all things, with a double miss, gets hit by Dynamic Punch. The odds of something like that happening are absolutely abysmal. But this is the game that we're playing right now, so real fv13 with a bit of a lead here, but Skarmory is Curse Skarm, so looks like it will do a good job at walling this Tar, unless, of course, it were to reveal a coverage move. Real fv13 slowly setting up, but it looks like all of the coverage moves are going to be physical. Of course, it's with it only being turn 1, it's going to be very hard to tell, but this T-Tar is looking really good into just about any lead. So we're going to see how this plays out. It looks like a very strong Punisher. Does it have Roar? Is Tibarn actually looking to set up all the way? Because Skarmory could do just fine with even just 2 curses, but setting up, probably looking to chip the Tar. Maybe it is a Sleep Talk Skarm, hence why it hasn't attempted to click Roar yet. And of course, with D-Punch, it looks like real FVs is also not a Roar Tar. So it's a very unique 1v1. You'd think that with this damage, T-Tar might have the advantage, but there is a very limited amount of attacks that T-Tar can use. There's very limited PP here, and Skarmory can just brush off most of the hits. Unless, of course, a crit were to occur, then it could be there. Speak of the devil. But Skarmory is still faster. Especially because it's 1 stage higher. Or lower? It's 1 stage higher in terms of speed. Real FV was looking for the crit. Of course, if he had managed to, he might have just won the game right then and there, but that didn't happen. Zap comes in, Raikou comes in, and Lax comes in. And now we see Tibarn with T-Tar of his own. And it is a Cursed Tar, taking the Earthquake rather well, surviving a 4-hit KO. Machamp, Cursed Tar Machamp. 2 very distinct punishers of passive teams. But we did see that Tibarn has some very solid win cons in the Cursed Tar. FE is going to boom. We don't know if there's a spinner in the back. I'm not sure. It could very well have a spinner. There's Fori, so the chances are very high, but Good night, Irene. Holy shit. Okay. It makes a lot of sense that Snorlax is Fire Blast. And this is the kind of games I'd like to see from fv13, because he is one of the most unique builders in Underused, and he's using a lot of synergies, not limiting himself to standard builds, but not going too far out. He's using things that have correct synergies. A Fire Blast Lax would lure in Tar, but checks Skarmory, and Machamp in Curse T-Tar could beat opposing Tar, but lure in the Skarm. So taking out that Fori there, it was all part of the game plan, really. And now it's pretty much FV's game to lose, because he can take a lot of time without spikes on the ground. He can play cautiously or aggressively with Machamp here and force switch-ins. Zapdos might not live a crit cross chop here. +1. With one turn of sleep for Skarmory, a +1, Machamp can crit Oko the Skarm. Only if it crits, though. And there it is. Oh dear, and that's an immediate forfeit from Tibarn. Okay. Interesting. Mixlax might even have been Boom with double electric. Very nice. It is a little reminiscent of the double electric Machamp team that Alice brought in the second Invitational, with the difference that there is a T-Tar and a Fori over a Golem and a Cloyster. And I feel like it's a little bit, just a tad more proactive. Although it certainly doesn't like to see certain matchups against ground types. So, FV up one game against Tibarn, and we're going to move on to the second game. Stay tuned. Remember that you can donate to the prize pool. All of the money will be going to the top 3 players of this double elimination tournament. Most players have been invited into the main event. Some have reached the main event through play-ins, either through a performance that was really good or through winning the play-ins outright. And of course, there is one player who got voted in. So, we'll see how this plays out. I can't remember if Tibarn won. He did very well in the play-ins, that's for sure. I might have missed it. In which case, I apologize, but you'll be the first to know. Zap brings in Raikou, and Real FV13 paralyzing the opposing Lax as Cloyster comes in. So it's looking like FV13 might have another double electric, judging by the combination of Lax, Raikou, Cloyster. It could be anything. It could be hard stall to boom offense. But Tibarn deciding to go early to the Gengar, and most disciplined players will not click boom early on a Snorlax, for the simple reason that they don't know what the opponent has yet. And so there could be a Golem to spin away those spikes. People do like the idea of booming early, but I feel like booming very early is only as valuable as unique as your win condition is. So you need something really, really fast-paced, but you want to be sure that you could actually pull it off. And there's a spinner. Or it could be, yeah, okay. Very interesting combination here. We do have a Spin Starmie with a Gengar on an offense team. So there could be a Machamp in the back and a Steelix. There could be a Marowak and another normal resist. There could be a Spiker. Zapdos coming in. It's probably the best check Tibarn has to this Exeggutor. And there is a Steelix. What else could be that last? Okay, a Spiker. Sure, fair enough, yeah. Interesting that he should come in on the Cloyster. Probably wanted to go for an aggressive play. But I don't agree with it. And so, Cloyster gets taken out. I'm sorry I don't have this huge pathos in my voice. I'm so busy thinking that what's right in front of me I can't even convey. Maybe I'm too analytic. Maybe I should be more emotional. I'm just not really into that stuff. I don't go like, oh my god, I don't do that. Oh, that was pretty cool. Okay, so it's looking good for FV here. He has an Eggy with which to check Steelix, and every time Steelix comes in, then it's trouble for him. And Tibarn gonna forfeit here. Quite early. What an early submission. So, FV winning by rear naked choke. Twice. That was pretty crazy. Very, very good play. What I was trying to say is that Double Electric has a good time against the likes of Gengar, Starmie, and Zapdos, but Lix is a big roadblock. Since Real FV still has an Exeggutor, essentially every time it comes in, it will force Tibarn to make a move. And so he was looking like he's in a good position. And then he doesn't even have to go to Eggy. He has Lax, which forces a lot of pressure. And so the D-Punch missed. And honestly, Tibarn doesn't have a strong way of defeating Sleep Talk Lax. And that's some of the qualms I have in certain teams sometimes, is that you don't have enough pressure on Lax, so your spin Starmie isn't really that big of a deal. Either you have a really, really threatening special attacker which forces the Lax to be on the defensive, and then through that you get some power, you get some momentum. For instance, Jinx, Exeggutor, Vaporeon, blah blah blah. Or you go with physical offense with a very obvious setup move. So, for me, the only time where you might want to make an exception to that, I suppose, is if you have Nidoking, which is a mixed attacker, and it can support other strong attackers, special, mixed, you name it. But it has a decent enough damage output to bring in Snorlax. And it really depends on how you play. Okay, that was rather quick. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I don't know, subscribe to the channel.